All right, just want to remind everybody that all of our council workshop meetings will be video and audio taped. Roll call, please.
Mayor Napperton.
Here.
Councilmember Achara.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
Perry.
Here.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 14, 2023. First item for discussion, we're going to hit Greg with our projects, various township projects.
Okay, thank you. I had one item on my list that's changing out of all those in the last 2 weeks is number 20, which is South Lincoln Crosswalk on Monmouth Road. Talked to the county engineer. They have no problem with the crosswalk. The only negative to it is they do not allow solar operated crosswalks anymore, the rapid flashing signs, because they're finding they can't get replacement parts for them.
Really?
So now we have to hardwire it. So the cost went from probably $20,000 to $50,000. But the second piece of bad news to it is they recommend, not that they're gonna enforce it, but they heavily recommend that we use a third sign there, a mast arm with a flasher over the road, which is gonna add probably another $10,000 to $12,000 to the project. So we're probably looking at $65,000 to put that crosswalk.
Can you do the higher one without the other one?
No,
They're not?
no, they want, because the pass movement, it's really, the third one in the middle really works. I've seen them, they're starting to put them along Ocean Avenue in various towns, and it's over the top, it's almost like a traffic light as opposed to on the
Right.
side of the road.
And that's what I'm saying, so you can't just do the over the top without the ones on the side?
No, they have one that you can do that with, but I forget, they call it, they have a name for it. It's like a
Expensive.
tomahawk or something, but it actually has it looks like like a Route 18 sign. It comes up with steel pipes on both sides and and they put two of them in the middle for each direction. Those are the tune of $200,000. So they're just saying if you get this one over the middle of the road a little bit, they would be okay with that. And then the discussion with them, they didn't say they would be, they're recommending that third one. But they're mostly because they don't want to get anybody hit. It's pretty busy there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Thoughts?
Pretty expensive.
Seems a lot of money.
Yeah, very expensive for, crossing, especially when we're putting them in other places a lot cheaper with just dead signs and painting them. They're probably less than probably $2,000 for signs.
Which is still an option.
Yeah, we could do that. It's not as safe, but, maybe we start with that. If it becomes a problem, not that we want to get anybody hit, but if it is in fact that busy and people are, not paying attention to the people in the crosswalk and stopping, then we can go to the rapid flashers and the overhead.
Oh, so we have an option.
Yeah, well, I gotta confirm that with the county, but the only other option we would have is to not put the rapid flashing ones in, just a solid sign with no flashing lights. But I don't know that they would approve that. We didn't get to that part of the discussion.
If you're
I
willing
told
to
you.
ask, I mean, listen, I'm the one that, they asked me to ask about it. I'm not in favor of spending 60,000,
Yeah.
50, 40.
Yeah, not for a
I'm
single
a cheap son of
crosswalk.
a bitch. That, yeah.
Yeah. And the only other thing is just a normal procedure with them. If we did decide to go through with anything we do there, we would have to enter an agreement with the county, because they take those over because they're on the roads after we construct it, whatever we put in there.
Oh, yeah?
But it would have to get approved by them. So that's why I gotta go back to them and ask them if we can put one in without the lights.
Okay.
The problem with all these things is I think you said it before, you get fatigued by seeing all these things.
And it's sign pollution, just too many people ignore them.
The concept's great, I get it, but unfortunately, it's like, so I saw some kids standing in front of one of these things the other day. Technically, everybody's supposed to stop, right?
Yeah, not technically, by law.
By
they're
law,
supposed to
and
Sorry.
nobody was stopping,
Yeah.
and it's just, I'm
Yeah.
like looking like this kid, like you're taking your life in your hands. He was trying to cross Deal Road at like twilight,
Yeah.
it's not a good scenario.
Plus, if you don't look like you're a little aggressive, everybody thinks you're just kinda standing there, so they
Yeah.
don't even slow down,
Yeah.
which is bad.
Well, I'm kinda with Rob there, I mean, the sign's fine, and
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
But I'll ask them if they'll even let us do
Yeah,
just the
okay.
sign. I don't think so, but I'll ask them.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about, we talked about a little bit last night, I wanted to bring the coverage things in for the lots. And, I gave you a little packet handout. There's 4 of them that I had done. These were for all the residential zones. And I did the R1, the R2, R4, and R5. And the first one, it was just, it's so ridiculous the amount of coverage that I did them both on the same sheet for the R1. Because if you look at it, when I did this little sketch on a 10 by 10 lot, I'm sorry, a 200 by 200 foot lot, you end up getting a 16,000 square foot lot, a deck that's probably about 8,000 square feet, and a pool that's huge, and I still only come up to less than the existing and allowed coverage in our proposed ordinance, let alone the 75,000 in the old ordinance.
Right.
So that kind of
You mean
justifies.
75%?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
45 that we're proposing is more than fine.
Okay.
I think R4 was the only contentious one last time, right?
I think
Ish?
we-
No?
we have the R2 probably.
Real quick, I'm sorry, what's the last column? Proposed?
Ordinance?
Proposed
Oh,
ordinance.
proposed versus proposed ordinance. I got it. Thank you.
Yep. Next one is the big sheets. This is the R2. And these I just happened to had an existing application that we did about 3 months ago. This is right over here on Runyon. And if you look, this is a 23,000 square foot lot in a zone that requires 22.5. He has 68.6% coverage on that existing condition. And I don't think you could add anything else to this house.
Oh, God.
It's got a tennis court?
They got a tennis court, they got a huge pool, they got a veranda in the back, they got a veranda on
Wait,
the front,
I don't see the tennis court.
they got a,
The basketball.
Yeah,
I say
basketball.
basketball, yeah.
they got a proposed cabana and a
Yeah.
fire pit. So with the new ordinances that we're looking at doing, if you turn to the second page, everything in pink would have to be eliminated.
Or a
to
variance.
conform Or a variance to conform to the ordinance. But if you look what we're eliminating, I mean, it's the 2 terraces and the porches on the front of the house, which I don't think anybody would really miss. There's the terrace across the whole back of the house, and you'd lose half of that. And you would lose the basketball court, and you'd lose some of the deck around the pool, which is huge. So I think, one of the things you look at in these, when this seems to be an application that the amount of coverage on this proposed property, they did it just to match what they could, to max it out. Because I'm sure if you went to the guy and said, hey, you can't have all these things, they could have whittled all these things down and still made it work.
Did this get approved?
This is approved, yes.
Big
There were no-
house.
This was approved because there were no variances on it. This met the existing ordinance.
Oh, so he had no variances pulled for this?
Yeah, he was allowed to go to 75% coverage, and he was at 68. And he was allowed to go 22% in the house, he went to 21.6. And he's got a 7,200 square foot house on a 23,000 square foot lot,
And a fountain?
and a fountain.
No grass, no.
Yeah. But there's things like these can change because, it's nice to have a driveway that enters from the side. They're very difficult to get in and out of on tight lots like this. There's no reason why a driveway couldn't come in the front, so you would save probably about 1,000 square foot of pavement right there. So these are the kind of things these builders are gonna get into when we clamp down on the coverage. They'll change their design, they will reduce the coverage, but they'll still make everything fit with a little less coverage,
Right.
which is what we're looking for. Okay, the next one, the R4, was the same thing. It was I couldn't get a plan together to get the 90% coverage. So what I did is the first one, it was 24% was the house, and I got up to 62% coverage for the current ordinance. And then the proposed ordinance, you can see, is almost exactly the same thing. It's 25% on the house. You get a 5,000 square foot lot, which is huge on a 100 by 100 lot. And you get 50% coverage with a large patio, large pool, and a raised patio. And this would conform to what we're proposing right now.
And that's because the pool doesn't count, correct?
The pool, well, in this case, I did count the pool area just because I didn't put sidewalks and stuff in. But yeah, the pool area does not count in the
Okay.
overall coverage.
What's the difference between the raised patio and the patio? Is it just,
I just added things because I wanted to show you the maximum amount of things they could put in here.
Okay.
And meet the coverage, because I don't think anybody would wanna put all that across the back of their house, but like I say, if it's allowable, people seem to be doing it.
so what are you giving up here? You giving up, just made the pool patio a little bit smaller?
Mm-hmm.
You putting on a porch on the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can see, on the first one, it wasn't even maxed out, and they could
Oh, I
actually
see, so
put
you
more in
maxed it out there.
Yeah, I just maxed it out so you could see the 50%, you still get a lot of
Yeah.
amenities. Cause you could have, instead of doing a double patio, you could put a larger pool in.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, the R5, was the same thing, it's just that you couldn't max it out on a small lot. I couldn't get it past 48%. When you look at that, you got a 3,400 square foot house, and then you got whole backyard is either patio, pool, or shed. And you really couldn't add much more coverage to that. Where the coverages really come out is in situations where the house is already in a variance condition, like it's too close to the road, side yards are smaller than they're supposed to be. That's when they're maxing out this coverage to get up to the 70 and 90%, because the house is actually in a spot it's not supposed to be, needs more area for other coverage, which is kind of double dipping almost if you use an existing variance to get more area to put
Right.
other coverage in.
So what do you do about those really non-conforming houses, like, you know, in Monmouth and Oakhurst there, that are on almost like postage size stamps?
Well, those are the hardship lots, those are the ones that have to go to.
So they'll have to go to the zoning board.
But I think you'll find is like what we've been seeing is most of the people who are coming in for these hardship are not the people that live there.
Yeah,
It's the people that are buying there,
gotcha.
you know, cause the people that live there, that they know that's the house, that's the size, and
Yeah.
they've lived with it for the number of years they've owned that house.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem you'll see is the guy that wants to buy a house, he can't afford a 1 acre lot. So he'll buy a half acre lot and try to put all the amenities that go on a 1 acre lot on a half acre lot.
Yeah.
So, if somebody, in your example, who buys in Wanamassa, what has the tolerance been for the zoning board in granting the variances?
They grant a lot of variances, but what I've been seeing in applications, at least the ones that come, well, most of them, the grading come through me, they're not really adding a lot of things to it, because they can't, it's pretty small lots over there.
Right.
But they're adding like a little addition, or they're, you know, changing a patio from a 10 by 10 to a 10 by 20, so it's more usable. So most of the things over there are, you know, functional type things that they're asking for improvements for. There's just not somebody coming and saying, I wanna put a pool deck across the whole backyard.
Right.
Are you finding that the neighbors are showing up to these meetings and challenging some of
I don't-
these?
I don't go to the meetings, but I know that they're all getting approved, so if they are
Okay.
showing up and challenging.
So the neighbors aren't really fighting what
Right.
their neighbors are trying to
Right.
do?
Right.
I got a question for you, Dave. When we approve this, is there a way to let the realtors know, let the zoning officers know, but I guess more the realtor side of things, so like, hey, I'm buying this house, just wanna make it clear, this is what our ordinance is, you know?
Yeah,
Best
'cause-
way to communicate with them is through their association.
Yeah, I mean,
We can communicate through the realtors board. to
just
let
think
them
it's
know.
smart, because, you know what happens, you get excited, you see a house, oh, we're buying it, and then you're like, oh,
yeah, we can't do that addition on the
I
house.
can't build that giant, you know.
I'd
No,
suggest
that's a
we
good
tell
point.
some of the builders too,
Yeah,
just so they already know it's out
Yeah.
there. But just to tell them, hey, we're looking at doing this, and then once that word gets out there, they'll all come into,
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, as I think we've all said before, our mission is not to flood the zoning board with more applications. It's just, obviously we want to, make the impervious coverage, better, but we also don't wanna destroy make their jobs harder either.
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I can tell you that most of the applications in the Wanamassa area, without the ordinance change, would probably go to the zoning board anyway, because the lots are so
Yeah.
small and not conforming. So this won't make much of a difference there. The other ones, you'll see some applications, but if the ordinance is followed, those will stop very fast,
Yeah.
once that word gets out.
And I think it goes without saying, we probably need to explain the rationale if they don't already know to the zoning board itself.
Well, Jim Higgins is the planner there.
Good.
He did the ordinance, so once we get to that point, I think we gotta inform him that you gotta set your board aside and explain to him that this is
Yeah.
what the council wants done now, we passed the ordinance, and they have to adopt it also, so
Right.
they'll be aware of it.
Seems fair.
That's all I had.
The graphic does help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can kinda see, like, especially the one with the, the big lot with all the pink, and you can see, there's still a lot left
Before
on
and
that lot.
after, and
Yeah.
he slid in before.
Yes, he got very lucky.
Yeah.
And he did two of them right next door to each other, the same thing.
Massive house.
Yes.
Any other questions for Greg while he's here before we let him slip out?
That's all you're reporting on?
That's it, everything else is the same.
Oh,
That was his caveat up
I
front.
heard that. So what have you been doing for 2 weeks?
Absolutely nothing.
Shoveling snow.
No, there was one other thing I did do. I wrote the little blurb for to put online. I gave it Tracy for the bike lanes.
Monmouth Road?
Yeah,
Nice.
Monmouth and Corley.
Thank you.
Other than that, everything else is pretty much status quo. I mean, the Wickapecca was ongoing, we talked about that. Everything else is pretty much status quo.
I do have something for you, if I can jump in. So, it's been a pet peeve of mine since the day I started driving in this town, and I know it's a county road, but the West Park Avenue and Whale Pond light is never, it just doesn't seem like it's a smart light. It's like, 1970s. There's not a soul on the road and I'm stopped there. Is there any way we can reach out to the county and say, hey,
Yeah.
let's bring us up to the 21st century?
I'll
You're,
ask
you're
them.
pursuing that on
Timing issue?
35 also, right?
Huh?
I think you had mentioned you were pursuing that for 35 smart light system?
No, that's a whole, we're talking about a synchronized system.
Oh,
for the
okay.
town. They do it
Not the smart.
the timing all the way.
They are
north to south.
considered, it's called smart lights, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's synchronized.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting at the
It's
front of
the
that
same
light
thing,
the other
Joe.
night, and there's not a soul on the road. I'm like, what am I doing?
Kinda like Main Street in
This is
Asbury.
madness.
Yeah. It used to be, not anymore.
Oh, they don't work right?
No, they think they all turn red and then they all turn green.
Oh.
Are all the lights in
No,
town more or
Asbury.
less smart lights?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
is there?
Main Street?
Most of them
Yeah,
have
that's
it.
what
Work, it's
used to be
horrible.
good.
Yeah, it used to
Still
Well,
on the road.
right.
Okay.
No,
Well,
no,
that's
it
why
used to
they
be able
did
to
it.
flow.
Right, well, I think that's why
There's
they.
a time limit, if there's traffic
guys
going
like
the other
me.
way, there's a time limit before it changes.
Yeah.
If there's no traffic the other way.
That's what those
it's
cords
running
are?
that timer, it changes it.
Is that what those cords are for? I always thought those were counters.
But usually you see that it's cut out in the road, there's a little,
Okay.
yeah, it's just so the pavement can move and do hit the sensor.
All right.
But I'll ask the county.
Yeah, I mean,
if we can-
And the message
said-
on
you
Monmouth
said
Road,
Monmouth and Whale.
it'll
Monmouth
explain
and Whale.
why
I agree with
that
you.
line is in a
Not-
weird
not
spot,
Monmouth and
and it's
Whale,
because of the
West
5
Park
feet off
and
the
Whale
curb.
Park.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I gave to Tracy, and she'll put in there tomorrow.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, my neighbors.
Questioning that?
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna call me again.
I didn't
He's
wanna
very
put in
happy
there
they're
that-
there, just
Yeah.
doesn't like the way they look.
I didn't wanna put in that I had to do that because it was the county road, but
Mhm.
Dave, you know what, I did have one question. I don't know if I asked you, I know I asked Dave. So, the bike lanes that we do have, the painting of the bikes seem to be wearing out. Is that,
it wears out over time with the plows going over it.
so?
That's why I kinda wanna do these after winter.
Well, Monmouth was, not Monmouth was good, but it
Not
was
yet, but
Sunset.
If we got, usually what happens, the more snow you get, like if you get 5 to 6 inches.
Yeah, it
and the
scrapes
plow's gotta grind at it, to get the snow off the road. Now they use that advanced system where it melts the snow so they don't have to grind on the road as much. That helps a lot, but I think we'll have to get into, guys, you gotta stay away from the shoulder. But this is a county road, so that's the county policy.
Yeah, Monmouth's fine,
We're not
but
gonna
like
get to that.
Sunset and where else did Sunset, what
Logan,
else we did?
Sunset.
Logan's the worst,
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, that's just, it's probably been there 6 or 7 years now.
Has it been that long?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was that
Yeah,
long.
that was the first one we put in, then we went down Sunset.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so it's just, they just wear out over time.
All right. Is that in your budget?
No, not yet.
I'm sorry, I also saw a change order for the striping on the agenda.
A decrease change.
I saw that, 24 or something thousand.
Right,
Why?
because in the plans, we had to do both sides of Corley's. And Interlaken didn't agree to wanna pay for it, so we took it out.
Oh, okay,
Cause I was hoping they would come around
I
and pay
was
for it,
wondering why it
we
was
would get
one side.
reimbursed.
okay.
But they said they didn't wanna get involved with that, so we didn't do the other side, which was the whole length of that, that was
Right,
pretty
yep.
lengthy road. That's why the reduction. It would've been nice to have both ways, just for anybody going one way is coming back.
So, can I ask, so did we do all of the striping that the police recommended?
Yep. And the inlet repairs. Mhm.
So like stop lines and all that?
Yep,
Now you gotta drive around.
yeah.
I noticed it, that's
Yeah.
why I'm saying
Yeah,
that.
no, they're very quick. They came in and got it all done in 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Right. Thanks, Greg.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
See everybody later.
David Brown, you're up.
Not too much today.
Oh, boy.
We have some good information here for elected officials. Risk management seminar, your favorite.
So I hear.
Is that course?
Yes.
I started and I stopped.
Thanks, Greg.
I thought I
Your
had done it.
township needs you.
I did it last year. This
Save
is for
us money.
24.
I know, I
Please.
thought I did it, I'm like, oh.
Because you probably
no.
did it late in the year, right?
That's the paper version, but I was told that Tracy sent out a link to
Mhm.
your email, so.
She
we can
did.
just
You have
do
to
it that
register
way.
and get like a new password and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get her done.
Mm-hmm.
Naming committee. We need to discuss our former mayor's request.
Uh-huh.
So how you wanna go about doing that?
Wait, what did
Is
he
that-
request?
Is that a
Requested to
subcommittee
have something
meeting? You
named
wanna
after
do it
him?
here?
You're kidding, right?
Should we convene a subcommittee meeting first?
Yes.
Yes, we're gonna convene a subcommittee.
This will be a
meeting.
first. I think this is the first mayor to ever ask for something to be.
I have a
So,
feeling it won't be the last though.
so Kelly has graciously stepped down, Dave has graciously
stepped
accepted
up.
it.
Or stepped in.
I talked to Dave, so Dave said, well, he actually did talk to you yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're talking, the two of us, you mentioned yourself, Tracy, Mike, and there was one other
We
person.
talked
that's in
about
my
Yeah.
Paul
notes.
Edelson from the
Well, we had
Historic
it,
Society.
I don't know who said Paul Edelson, if you mentioned it, or if I mentioned it, or you said
Yeah.
it, so,
Yeah, I think
We'll pull
you
that
just
together.
you invite who you need based on
Right.
your topics.
right.
The other thing too is I would like to reach out to certain groups who've had long-standing members, fire companies, historic society, gardening club, who's worthy, and maybe get some names from, that I don't know about, or that we don't know about.
I agree,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
We
I
can
mean-
even put something on the website or
Yeah, I
something,
mean, there's-
whatever you guys wanna do.
there's people who lived in this town for their whole lives and done wonderful things that we may or may not, know about, so.
Absolutely.
Poet laureates, Medal of Honor winners, we'll take them all, so,
I will put it together tonight, tomorrow morning. I'll send an email to him. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what, I'll have Tracy schedule it.
Yeah, something on the email, on the website would be great, hey, somebody who's, done great things.
A nomination portal?
Let us know.
Yeah. Just once you have, if you wanna write up a little blurb and then just
Okay.
get it to Tracy and I'll be good.
All right,
Good stuff.
when we meet for subcommittee, we'll figure it all out,
Sounds like a plan.
okay?
How come we got demoted to a subcommittee?
I think you gotta start somewhere.
Well, no, it's a committee.
Regular
It's a
committee.
committee
Yeah.
of the council, so.
Right.
It's a regular
I
committee.
said so, my
All
bad.
right.
It is a subcommittee.
Yeah. Potato,
What's the committee?
potato.
We're the committee. You're a subcommittee right now.
I thought we were a council.
We are, but we
You're
can
a
be-
council.
So
you
you're a
can have the- You
sub-council.
can have the committee, and then one of you standing in a room is the subcommittee.
Got it, okay, very good.
There you go.
Or
Everybody's
you're a
signing.
sub-council.
I got one for a closed session
Okay.
regarding public safety.
All right,
And I have two,
for close,
no.
for now. Okay, we'll go to you and then we'll do round robin and then we'll go to our public.
I had an email from Ted Maturo, who works for Christine Hanlon and, Tommy Arnone. And they would like to come to our March 14th meeting to talk about preparing
The
for.
dog park.
No, they're preparing for America's 250th birthday in 2026.
Yes, absolutely. Went out to Freehold when they had their kickoff over the summer, so yeah, definitely.
Okay, so they'll come to 7 p.m. They wanted to
Yes.
come to 7 p.m.
Oh, they wanna come to 7, not the
Yeah.
workshop?
No, they want, I asked them. They said
Okay.
7 p.m.
I mean, they can come either or.
Okay,
If I can find out from Tommy, I gotta reach
Is that
out to
okay
him
with
tomorrow
everyone?
anyway.
Sure.
okay.
Yeah.
And the budget meeting of February 3rd is canceled. Most
Oh,
likely.
darn it. Most likely it'll be.
Kelly, you seem real upset about that.
It's my sister's birthday.
Oh, good.
Hey, that's why we canceled the
Kelly.
budget meeting, please.
If it was the
It might-
4th, we'd have a real problem.
Yeah, yeah.
It might be on the 10th, possibly the 17th, but I'll let you know as soon as I know.
Okay.
Pocketbook bingo's the 16th, so let's go for the 10th.
Yes, yes.
To Rob's
Yes.
point.
I miss it. We're having
I have an
it.
event on the 16th,
A
so.
big one.
I'm
All right.
Notice
Either
how-
would be fine.
Notice how I whisper.
Let's go backwards this time. Let's go with Kelly first.
The committee, subcommittee, subcouncil, whatever, met on Zoom regarding the 175th birthday celebration. So Rob, more of a question for you. They were running with the logo that, what's the gentleman's name?
Robert Hazelwood.
Rob.
That he
Hazelwood.
designed, right?
Right.
And they were
Hazel Ray?
they were adding a ribbon banner on the bottom, just saying the 175th.
Right, so yep.
You cool with it?
I don't
Because
know.
they're ready to run, and you, I think
We
you
need
raised
to
a
actually
question.
make this decision tonight because it's, we're really in.
Would that? Do you think that's fine with Rob?
You have to ask him.
I would ask Rob.
Robert Hazelwood?
Yeah,
I would,
yeah.
I didn't, I sent the email. If there was a response and I missed it, I apologize, but I would.
Did you send it to Rob?
I did not because I didn't get
We all
feedback.
love the design, but
Oh,
then
I'm
you
not
raised
against
a
it.
concern.
Out of courtesy, I would.
Okay.
Just reach
You're
out to him.
against the
No,
design?
no.
Out of courtesy, I'd reach out to Rob.
Since
he
we're
designed
altering
it.
his
No.
design.
Yeah.
With the
that's-
banner.
You need to, I mean,
Okay.
technically you need to.
So
Okay,
if we
Not
could
even
get
an
that
ad
done
courtesy.
ASAP, and then, this way we can make this decision and get the
Yeah,
letterhead
I mean,
and
I'm
everything
in-
else we need.
You don't need my, I'm fine with it.
No, we're all
It
getting
was-
opinions, but, yeah.
Right, I would, no, I lost my train of thought. Who did who made that design with that on it? Did Mike do it himself, Patrico?
Yeah.
probably
Okay. I mean, Rob may
asked to,
do it, may want to do it.
okay,
It'll take him 5 minutes.
okay, all right.
But if he says no, great, I'm all for it.
Okay, and so we're a go for February 21st, Turner and the museum combination, cocktail style reception, $15 price point, going out and soliciting
Sponsors.
sponsors 100%, because we have nothing in the kitty. And also for service workers and food vendor. So they're gonna go out and ask like local businesses who would like to cater and or service that night. I believe the liquor has already been donated and or left over from prior events, so we're fine on that.
So we just need food.
Food and people to serve it.
Okay.
What day was that?
February 21st, which is the actual anniversary date.
That's a Saturday.
And I think it's like a 6 o'clock start. You know, upscale cocktail
Oh,
type
we have a
environment.
pro- We better not be the 24th.
No, 21st.
21st.
It's during the middle of the week.
Okay, I'm sorry, because
Yeah.
the fire department thing.
Oh, no, no, definitely the
I'm sorry,
21st.
I heard it wrong.
So they're working on, once I guess the logo is designed, they'll also
February 10th.
work on the flags, which will be
14th.
posted in town.
Valentine, oh, we moved it. We moved
They've
it.
already spoken to JCP&L about enabling the use of the poles and making sure that we're compliant with their recommendation on how high they should be for safety, and also adding a electrical box on them, which will enable us to use those poles in the future for future decorations for any type of event, holidays, what have you. They're originally thinking about 100 yards to the east and to the west of the driveway coming out of Human Services to start. So kind of consistent with, you know, the trees staying lit, and the trees will still be lit on, you know, over by the museum in Turner. And the other thing is Jen is gonna be putting out the solicitation memo for sponsors, and she would love it if the town council could, hit the streets with that, because we don't have enough money to pull 2024 events off.
Okay. So did she get the sponsorship form yet?
She's working on it, we
Okay.
just met yesterday.
I'm gonna go over and meet with her next week, and we'll.
And then she's getting the one for St. Patty's Day available.
And I'm working on
also.
a sponsor for that as well, looking for a price point and liquor sponsor for that as well for the bar. So we're
And that's
trying
gonna be an English manor.
Right.
Yep. I think there was a little bit of concern that they might not be able to secure the dancers this year.
Yeah, they can't because of the marble floor.
Right,
It's
safety.
supposedly safety, but I think, yeah, it does something to the floor where they can slip or something. There's,
So they're trying to think of what they could do to supplement the event, since dancing, I guess, has been part of it for many years.
What day is that gonna be?
March 4th?
March 4th. It's a Monday, right?
no,
What day is that?
no. We
March
do it on
4th
a
is a
Friday.
Monday.
March 9th?
No. if we
Does that
do
sound
it-
right?
We do it on a
March 9th is a
Friday.
Saturday. March 8th is
March 8th is a Friday.
It's a Friday.
We talking about St.
I
Patrick's Day?
think it's the 15th. Are
Wait,
you
I
sure
heard
it's the 8th?
I feel like it's,
Might
I'm
be
away,
included
so
in
I feel like it is the week of the 8th or the 9th. But I didn't see the flyer.
I didn't either.
All right, we'll get that squared away. and
Yeah,
then-
so she'll be hitting us up with that solicitation
It's
memo
a-
as well for sponsorships.
March 15th,
It is the 15th?
yeah,
Wow, I'm totally off then.
6 o'clock.
Okay. So they're working both
English
efforts
manor.
back to back.
Mike made me put it in my
good.
phone.
Yeah, so that's all I really have.
Okay, Dave.
No report, Mayor. No report.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
Keeping it
Rah.
real.
Sit down.
Here
I
comes
got
Rob.
nothing.
No, get out.
What? Well, I have a couple things. First of all, these are the designs for the 10th hole, which we went over the other day. I'll pass it around. Okay. So, kind of zeroing in on the top right corner. You know, I think I like top right, bottom left. They're both
Yeah.
matched, but we were leaning more towards the green one because of the color of the shake up on the roof.
Yep.
So with that, we also discussed it at the facilities, you know, the building's coming along nicely, which is great. You know, we're looking at mid-April, right, Dave?
To open?
Mid to late April
Yep.
for that being done. Little delay on 1515 on selling the building or selling the property due to the DEP.
Yeah. But you were right, Rob, because we were talking about that the other day.
You know, West Park Avenue donation is done, and that's all I've got on.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Deal Road, as I stated before, that Greg is going to put in the application with the DOT so that we can get a receiving lane on the west side of Deal Road on 35, so we can straighten this out. So we're on video now, everybody. We're gonna work on getting this fixed, because we all know it's a mess going west right now. So that's gonna be worked on with Greg. We're looking forward to that. We also went over the library donation bequest, the $150,000 bequest to the library, which has to go inside the library. They have plans for the meeting room, children's room, Turner South, Turner North, and they left some money in contingency. So it looks like the Friends of the Library have some pretty good plans for that. So we're looking forward to the library being updated. And that's about it.
Can I ask one question on this?
Yes, sir.
So if we're doing this, do we need to discuss, or would it change its name?
We'll have to go to the subcommittee.
Well, I think it's still gonna be the 10th hole. It might be, you guys talk about it.
Can't say, can you?
I just don't know if I would ever ask. I just don't think I would.
I'm sorry.
All right, yeah, but these are,
Actually, you know what?
now you guys, when you go to the subcommittee, Dave, we have an extra copy. Mike Patrico can email you guys a copy over.
No.
And then bring it to the subcommittee and how you're gonna name it. Because they like the 10th hole, but if you're gonna call it the Christopher P. Siciliano 10th hole, or the 10th hole at the Christopher P. Siciliano Golf Course, because
You can do something like the
Maya Playground at Keppel
Right.
Park.
right,
Right.
there you go,
the 10th hole at,
Colonial Terrace Golf Course.
William F. Clark.
actually, no, he wants 10th hole at Christopher P. Siciliano Golf Center.
It's
Okay.
ridiculous. That acronym is ridiculous now.
Oh, right. Let's go to
I live
our
in the world of
public.
acronyms.
You don't have to worry about
Any-
me, because there's a David Street already.
Yeah, so you're good. I got nothing
into
for
Cherry
me.
Street.
We can share that.
Jesse? Kelly?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
All right, let's start off over here, sir.
I'm Jack from Big Grove Place. The only thoughts I had as we were listening going is that the naming project not only be put on the website, but also get it in the paper if you can.
Yeah,
The-
maybe a coaster.
The coaster and so forth, because a lot of people read those things.
Yeah.
And they might work through their own committees if they don't know who they are or whatever. So I just think it's better publicity. I think it's an important project, an important thing to do, and you want some inputs to it from,
Sure.
yeah. That's one way to get them, Dave, so. That's
You
my
want
thought.
you want me to send you the link so you can self-nominate?
If you'd like to. I have thought about it. If I weren't as mature as I am, I mean, I'm 87, pushing 88 next year. So I don't run as fast as I used to.
You walk a lot still, right?
Yeah, I do exercise 3 days a week.
Jack, thanks, because we finally got somebody older than Jesse right now.
Oh,
Good stuff.
ouch.
HR. I said it.
Oh, I don't want to say it.
I gotta tell you something, the best clerk right here, she's got the best sense of humor.
Absolutely.
She could beat you in
Sorry,
a race,
Vinny,
though.
you know what? Good sense of humor over here,
Got to.
and she talks my language, which is good.
The Italian?
She is
Give us my
excellent.
hand.
Anything else, Jack?
We ducked
No,
one there.
no, I support your thoughts about Jessie also.
Thank you.
I think she's excellent.
Yes, we,
Par 10, excellent.
I'll tell you what, we're hitting a home run with all the department heads in the town, seriously, it's been and Dave with his new hire, we gotta welcome Colleen to it, I mean, our things are starting to really hum, and this is, really good
Yeah,
stuff.
I sense a real commitment from the staff as I deal with different people. They really mean to do what they can as best for the town.
More improvements coming, Jack. It's
Yeah.
gonna keep coming.
That's why I'm leaving.
Yeah, get out of here before
I don't
things
wanna mess
fall
up
apart.
my-
I'm gonna sign you up for something.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Alex Hayes from Ocean. I have a couple of questions. Do I have a time limit? 'Cause-
Normally in work
Okay.
session, we do, a few, but go ahead, look,
Yeah, okay.
we have some time.
Well, the Board of Ed just started implementing after
We have a time
after
limit.
never.
No, we do, we do have a
Downstairs
time
we do.
limit.
Okay.
Yeah, we always have what
And
is it, 3 or
do
5?
you answer questions
Yes.
up here, or are we only limiting the not answering of questions to the school board?
Let's
Guys
just
actually
answer your
answer?
question, so
Okay.
go ahead.
Great. The naming committee for, that you were talking about, I have glommed from what you said, that it's about the 10th hole.
No,
Has-
No,
No?
This is wrong.
This is
So-
township wide.
Yeah.
What former mayor made what request is my question. I have a couple questions, so I'll just run through them. The fire investigation, the fatal fire over at Monmouth Gardens, wondering if that report's in yet? If the fire investigator has, issued his final report? Second question, are you announcing the new council member tonight? Third question.
No.
Fourth question, when I sent the email, cause I had to leave that one time that I came and I sent my testimony or my commentary, was that entered into public record? Cause if it was not, I'd like to read it.
Yeah, when were you there? If you wanna send it to me, I'll put it in.
It's not read into, I mean, it's a public record, but it's, because any document sent to the municipality is public record, but when you say reading it into the record,
Well,
So-
then I'll read it,
okay.
if that's all right.
So
Because
actually,
nobody
on
would
that
know I
topic, on
Go
that
ahead.
topic, so I've never thought about it before, but what the hell, so she wasn't, this is the marijuana thing?
Yeah,
So she sent the email, so it wasn't part of the meeting itself, so when you say it is part of public record, you got my curiosity, what does that mean?
Open public
Open
records
public
act.
record, so it's a document that if somebody requested,
But I guess how would they?
how would they know?
How would they know?
Yeah.
It wouldn't, does people put in blankets, say, I want everything that was ever
No,
talked
the
about
other way, I
cannabis?
mean, how would they know it was even discussed next time come to the meeting? I'll-
Yeah, yeah.
It'd have
and
to
I
be
had-
somebody
I
of
had to go.
interest,
Right,
to somebody
Um,
interested,
alright, I got you.
And then before I read this, I actually was also wondering if we have received any applications for, I think you guys passed manufacturer, distributor, and sales, like different licenses?
Deadline on that is February 17th, I believe, or
Okay.
21st.
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 21st or
Have you
20th?
received any yet?
It, right now, it's, they will all be with Jesse, we don't know what's come in or what hasn't come in yet. It was just, done Monday. As for the former mayor, there's really only one former mayor that's still alive, believe it or not. My predecessor, Chris Siciliano.
Uh-huh.
What was the second question?
What did he request?
cultivation.
The naming committee,
On the
for
naming
the
committee.
various,
He requested to be on it.
no, I thought he requested that we establish a committee.
Oh, no, I asked for that, that goes.
Oh, okay, then I should not answer, cause I'm speaking out of turn.
What did the former mayor request?
Oh, my goodness.
I just saw the email, Rob, you wanna?
He- Yeah, the golf center's a nice place to put a name on, he plays golf a lot, so.
He wanted his name on or a name on?
Well, I
Is what I'm
think,
asking.
I think he's probably said a name, and given that he's spent as much time at the golf course as he has, and
I don't think I saw it.
But let me make clear the committee thing. We've been talking about this for a long time.
years,
This is not new.
years.
And we-
About naming the.
And
golf
only
course?
naming anything.
No,
Yeah,
we
anything.
named,
Anything.
there's a lot of things named in town, streets, roads, sections, buildings. And it's been done in a way that we've had people that have done a lot in the municipality, they've had things named after them. So to make it nice and clean, we have a committee which consists of 2 council members. And they will be making the recommendations to the council on individual areas that we may deem to be named.
And if I may, Mayor, the former mayor and another council member did do that previously, so this isn't
This
new,
is
it
it.
kinda
It's not a
just-
shocking thing.
It's
Or a new thing, yeah.
correct.
Alright, number 3, what was that?
Fire investigation.
Wanamassa Garden Apartments, fire investigation,
What
that's,
time?
What's the question?
Marshal, is
Oh my
the
goodness, I
report,
haven't seen him in a suit in.
the report and anything else. You wanted to know if that report was generated yet in regard to the,
Report it's through the Monmouth County Fire Marshal's Office. So,
Okay.
okay, number 4?
Okay, I'm gonna read my comment.
I thought you had didn't you have a 4th question?
It was, are you announcing the council?
Oh,
meeting
council.
tonight?
Oh, yeah, that'll
I
be
heard-
done, Tuesday.
Okay.
We're having a special meeting, 6 o'clock.
And there are 2 people
5 o'clock.
watching.
Fine.
This is the first live, right?
What's that?
Is this the
No.
first live in a while?
First,
First live of?
no, always been
Well,
live.
in the
No,
last,
every-
in the last 2
last
weeks.
year.
Not live.
No, not live. You
Not
tape
live.
them
This
and
is
then you
probably only the
post them.
second, maybe third.
Yeah, you tape and then post.
Yeah, September. I
Yeah,
thought
we've
it
been
was
live for a few
yeah, we've
months
been
now.
live for a while.
That long?
September.
Yeah.
Well,
Right after the summer.
Watch, Tom's gonna walk in any second and tell us when.
You're wrong. It just started last month.
Okay, I
Hey,
thought
Tom.
this was the first or second, so I was wrong. Alright, I'm just gonna read my statement, so that can be entered into whatever public record. This was actually when I came here in December, when I was on the school board, so I'm no longer on the school board. So I'm just gonna be giving this as a private citizen. I'd like to start off by saying that I am not opposed to legalizing weed. In fact, I applaud New Jersey's governor for taking legalizing marijuana a step further than other states by earmarking some relief for marginalized populations out of the proceeds of sales. And I think decriminalizing marijuana possession charges can end a long history of racially unbalanced enforcement of the law. Yet I also don't think that we need or should have a dispensary in our town, given that we have 2 in Neptune and in Eatontown, frankly, that I could even walk to if I was so ambitious. But I feel this was already a done deal, because this was before you guys actually voted. Plus, I also recognize there is money municipalities can make off of cannabis sales. So for Ocean to not be one of the 25% of New Jersey towns that allow legalized adult cannabis sales would essentially be turning away money that can ease the tax burden of running a town as great as ours. So now I get it, even though I don't love it. We know local governments can make money off the legal recreational pot in a few ways. Some money goes to the state, it's legally designated for social equity endeavors under SEEF, excise fee, and there are licensing and permitting fees. And then there's sales taxes that go to municipalities, and that's kind of what I'm here for. That 2% tax, the transfer tax, that Ocean Township could collect on every single future sale of cannabis is why I'm making these comments. I hope that you are bold enough to commit via an amended ordinance to use the potential tax revenues for our public schools. Why? Let's see what other towns are using the money for. Obviously, it depends on how big your town is and how close other dispensaries are to your town about how much money these towns have been getting. Per the APP, the first 12 towns that started selling legal pot in 22 received anywhere between $150,000 to $1 million. Lawrence Township, for example, raised enough money to pay for their entire trash services for the entire year. Belmar, not the one here, but the other one, got more than $1 million thanks to their 2% tax. Vineland got $250,000. Bloomfield got $500,000, and I have since heard that Neptune last year got about $500,000. So of course you guys can reinvest that money in whatever you want, this excess revenue. You can do upgrades to your infrastructure, to better parks, but we're doing that a lot lately with great success. And I do thank you. I think what you've been doing lately is fantastic. But I implore you to give these tax funds to our public schools. Please make the bold decision to give the money to the district or to an educational trust fund benefiting TOSD. As you know, the state is giving us less when we lose students. So please commit to aid the students and preserve district services by earmarking the 2% sales tax for educational purposes within our town public schools. Also, I think your ordinance should include how you will report the cannabis tax revenue as a budget line item every month. Some towns do that, and that actually took me long to read, so I will re-email it once again to a few other folks in the room. So,
Alice, can you make sure you?
You know,
Yeah,
the
thank you.
funny thing is that the school, even if gets 100% of whatever they ask for, like, I think that's state law. If they ask for X number of dollars, they get it. So
In what? What are you talking
I mean, if a school district says we need $1 million to operate, town collect $1 million. The town collects $1 million and hands over the money. It's not,
Have
you
you
know.
been to our budget board
No,
budget
no, no,
meetings
from
in the
a-
last
from a-
few years?
No, but that's, let me say, if,
Respectfully.
what, no, I mean, however the budget works out, at some point, the school, even the town says, we need X number of dollars to operate.
But they can only increase it with,
They-
I
but
get the
put-
4 or
putting-
5
putting else,
exceptions,
that, but
right.
that's,
2%
that's a
cap,
difference,
and-
so, but then you're saying, then the school says, here's what we need to raise.
Right.
And then they get 100% of that from the town. And if, let's say somebody doesn't pay their taxes, the entity that eats the tax loss is actually the municipal government.
Just out of curiosity, since you brought that up, could we legally do that? Not suggesting we do, no
Can-
disrespect, but could we do it? Think
It's
about it.
difficult because
Right.
theirs is a whole separate
It's-
budget.
right.
So I mean, really, if we, let's say we take
You
the
establish
tax, let's
an
say the
education
tax
fund.
revenue that comes in off of the sales is $500,000, and we need that, an extra $500,000 in for the road program, which we're behind right now. Regardless, we're gonna have to either tax the residents that extra $500,000, and if we were to give it away, it still has to be done regardless. So in our case,
I do wish
I
you would
don't-
think of it not as giving it away, but investing
Well,
in the
I don't know
town's
that,
future.
I don't know that you might be
for
able to,
students.
in all honesty, because take it out of the whole thing. So the schools says that here's our budget, we need that money. And then, where's our money coming from? Their budget's still the same. If you're gonna have the town donate, call it, gift over $1 million, well, that still goes to their budget. And then it's the amount to be raised by taxes. So I don't think it's like, we only need X number of dollars and then we're gonna throw in some extra. Like, I'm not sure that finance is allowed to do
Unfortunately, the
that.
perception that the towns or schools need 80 million, so therefore they ask the town for 80 million, that 80 million is really what they need, because they do a
Oh,
lot of
no.
cuts.
That
in
is
order
an
to get
easy
to that,
answer.
And then they
but they
can't
can
make up the difference with the 2%. I think if you get creative, there's a way to do it, perhaps even through a new educational fund. Some schools, like Shrewsbury, have a 501c3 that's separate from the PTA, but it's called an education fund.
I don't know if we'd be even able to do it.
Well, municipal
maybe you can
government
look
couldn't
into
do a 501c3.
all right, thank you. Anything else?
No,
Okay,
Thank
are
you.
we closed or open?
Closed.
Okay. Motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
It's 18 years of technology.
Roll call.
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Councilmember Achara?
Here.
Fisher?
Here.
Terry? Here.
Please stand for a pledge of allegiance and remain standing as we say a silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we take a moment of silence, I just want to mention 3 people that recently passed away. We had Richard Dickey Kirk. He was one of our crossing guards in Oakhurst. We had Chuck Theodora, who just passed away suddenly, very active member of the Italian American Association in Ocean Township. And of course, Margie Edelson, who there's just not enough words to say about what Margie did for this town and the Historical Society. For those 3 members of our community, I'd like us to say or have a moment of silence. Please be seated. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was posted in the Asbury Park Press and the coaster posted in Town Hall, filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 14th, 2023. There are 2 emergency exits to my right that'll take you to the front of the building. There is one to my left that'll take you to the rear of the building. Please make sure that all your cell phones are turned off. If you need to make a call, kindly step outside. I'm going to start down to my right and hit Councilwoman Terry if you have a report.
Just letting everybody know that we're starting a lot of preparation for the 175th anniversary of our town. I think there's going to be a lot of great events. The first one will be kicking off on the 21st. So as soon as we get our invitation ready for it, this one will be a cocktail reception over at the Turner in the museum. We'll get everything out to you and allow as many people. And we'd like to see a great turnout with a lot of memorabilia that we're collecting. That's all I have, Mayor.
Yes, thank you, Cal. Councilman Fisher.
Yes, I just want to say that the mayor and I went over to Planet Fitness today for the grand opening. So we'd like to welcome them over to over where the Wegmans Plaza is. It's a nice new addition to the township. It's a big, gigantic, beautiful, brand new gym. So once again, a nice employer for our township, and I think it's going to be a good addition. I also wanted to let everybody know that Councilman Robichair and I have formed the subcommittee for naming of things, towns, streets, parks, anything in the town that can be named.
Microphones.
And so what we'd like to do is I'd like to ask the public to, if you have any suggestions of people who've had long-standing leadership roles, have done wonderful things for the community, to reach out to either Councilman Chair or myself. And we're going to, put these people in a talent pool. We're going to put something on the website. We may even create an application, but I think it's a good idea. Start using your head. So we're looking for all different groups out there, and we're looking for suggestions. But I think it's a wonderful thing, and it only benefits the township and the people that we're going to honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Councilman Achara.
I didn't have a report until Dave just mentioned that, but since I was going to email you what we were going to post on the website, why don't you just look at the video and take what he said?
That?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Have a great night.
Our manager, David Brown.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. And Matt, our attorney.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Today I had the opportunity to go over to the Ocean Township Elementary School. My former vice principal from Asbury Park, Melissa Lepuznik, and one of our teachers over there, Tina Conti, invited me over to greet the students along with our fire and police. And it was really exciting because, honestly, Ocean Township Elementary School with Melissa over there, I can't say enough good words about her. She is absolutely fantastic, not only for those kids, but for this community, and when you have a great principal like that, it really pushes people to want to use our public school system. With that being said, when I went there to visit them, the kids wrote me some letters. I'm not going to read every one, but I do want to read a few of them because the letters are great. And the kids were awesome. I teach in the Asbury Park School District, so I went from one school to another today, but it was fantastic to see the kids that, I know a lot of their parents. So this one says, Dear Mayor Napolitani, I'm writing to thank you for serving as mayor of Ocean Township. I will always support you. I appreciate all you do. It must be difficult being mayor. Have a great day every day, and don't forget you're awesome every single day. Sincerely, Autumn Bond. I'm going to ask her to work on my next campaign.
There you go.
Dear Mayor Napolitani, I'm writing this letter to thank you for serving as mayor of Ocean Township. It must be hard to be mayor, and I'm grateful for your hard work in making Ocean Township a better place for us to live in. You are a great mayor, and it's great to have you. Thank you. Sincerely, Freeman. And there is one more that I want to read. And I met this student today. I was on my way walking out, and he came running over to me with Miss Conti, and he says to me, "Are you the mayor?" And I'm like, "Yes." How did you know? Because I didn't tell anybody. He said, "Well, she told me, and I have to tell you." And he was just absolutely impressive. He could have been a 40-year-old. That's how well he spoke, and just what a young gentleman. And I have his letter I found in my pile. It says, Dear Mayor Napolitani, I'm writing this letter to thank you for being mayor and head body of Ocean Township. I can understand how hard being mayor is, but you're doing an amazing job. Also, thank you for opening Kepwell Spring Park on Cold Indian Springs Road. You made an amazing decision. Thank you. Sincerely, Vitaly Bertov. So I want to thank the students today for inviting me into your classrooms, letting me take a tour. Thank you, Melissa. It was really a great day. Thank you. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired on any item, that item will be considered separately. The purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions to understand resolutions that appear on this agenda, and it's not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on this agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. If anyone has a question in regard to the agenda, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing here none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Bachara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Individual action. Vouchers in the amount of $2,622,923.52. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Bachara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinances for introduction. Again, there is obviously no discussion on these until next meeting. We have Ordinance 2451, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 13, Traffic of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Ocean, 1965, prohibiting parking along portions of Johnson Street. Can I have someone introduce Ordinance 2451?
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance 2451.
Second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Bachara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes, and that will have its public hearing on February 8th. Ordinance 2452, which is an ordinance authorizing the private sale of non-conforming real property known as Block 16.01, Lot 8. Someone please introduce Ordinance 2452.
I make a motion to introduce ordinance 2452.
Second.
Second.
Bachara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes, that ordinance will also have its hearing on February 8th. Ordinance 2453, an ordinance amending Chapter 21 of the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean, establishing land use regulations for cannabis establishments, and Chapter 13 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Ocean, 1965, entitled Taxation. Someone please introduce Ordinance 2453.
I move to introduce ordinance 2453.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Bachara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes, and that will also have its public hearing on February 8th. Now we have the public portion comments. If you have anything germane to Ocean Township, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. This is public comment.
That's you.
I want to also welcome our former Deputy Mayor, Davey Hires, out there. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Turn that mic around. I don't know. There you go. So you, there you go.
Oh, sorry.
I can't, I'm having difficulty seeing, I'm waiting for my cataracts to be removed, so you're all blurred.
That's good. We don't look good tonight.
My name is Joe Maloney, I live at 40 Branch Road. I've been there just over 40 years. 10 years ago, I was involved, along with my other neighbors, with mitigation along the whale pond. Now, you all know about Branch Road, I'm sure you do, about the flooding over there. You also have a problem in other areas of this township. We live in a flood. We all know that, so we're not expecting miracles. The mitigation that we were involved with 10 years ago was basically to clear the whale pond out. We got Andrew Brennan. He was the town manager. Dave Brown is the.
Dave Brown.
Correct.
You're the new Andrew Brennan.
This one.
Oh,
You can't see. I know. He's over here.
you're just waving. I can't see any. So I'm very honest with you. I'm pretty all blur.
You driving home tonight?
I had that experience even before I got to cataracts. A lot of things come out of that. We got the county involved, which I don't envy any of you dealing with the county. They're knuckleheads. All right? They're very difficult to deal with. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to budge on any matter at all. And most of the problem that I still think comes from the park itself, the iron oxide or the silt that washes up, that clogs up the clear flow of the water. We've known that for a very long time. Some of the results that came out of the mitigation were simply that they would clear up or clean up the whale pond from, I guess, down by Lake Tacanassi, that was dredged down there, and all with along the whale pond itself. They're clean. I'm sorry. That's the first time anyone's ever thought of me not being able to get my point across. I gotta be-
Being recorded, that's why they want to be able to hear it. We can hear you.
There we go. We need new mics.
Anyway, they cleared it out. They did it, the township did it actually. They arranged the whole cleaning process with local contractors. They received money from the NRCS, I guess that's part of FEMA, and that was for $150,000. Once they did that, the water flowed. We had storms where we got 5 inches of rain, 7 inches of rain in 2 days, and the streets were dry. And that was after they cleaned it up. We also know that there's an engineering problem down there. The discharges are too low. The water level is too high, and that's why everything backs up, right? Unless you're gonna get federal money, there's no way you're gonna be able to get that cleaned up. All we're asking for right now is maybe take a look into cleaning out the well pond again. Hopefully it's only a 10-year process, and hopefully we can get some more FEMA money. But it's something that we'd like you to be aware of. We'd like your help and cooperation in doing that. And I've got to tell you, your DPW, what a bunch of good guys. You really are. From Steve Higgins, I think his name is.
Yes.
All the way to supervisor, great guy, all the way down the line. The guys come down, and they're out there before any major storm and after this. So we really appreciate that, because if you've ever been awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, water coming up your street and heading for your house, you know the feeling. And these guys know it and appreciate it, and we appreciate that. So hopefully, you can maybe get with Steve Higgins and discuss it, and maybe get in touch with some of the principals at FEMA or some other agencies that I know the state was using this too. Rutgers came down, they were involved.
Clayton likes us.
And they were investigating rain gardens behind the pool flood there, which I thought was, it's a pretty good idea. It's someplace where the excess water can drain off before it gets to me, right? I was looking over my notes from 10 years ago, so, and I can't see, so it took me an awful long time to review all that stuff. So, but if I can be any help, I'm sure that if you get in touch with Andrew Brennan, he'll probably, be able to help you out as well. But I do know that we wouldn't be in a good situation at all without the township's help. And we really do appreciate it. Like I said, those guys in the DPW, every one of them is just great. So,
Thank you very much for those compliments. We do have an excellent staff here in Ocean Township. Dave, can we get Greg to take a look at that?
Absolutely, Mayor.
And see if this could be a project. I know that area floods. I've been called over there by a couple of the residents in the past during the floods. It does get bad with the rain when it's heavy. So we'll.
It's been very good for 10 years, almost.
Yeah, we'll have our township engineer take a look, and it could be something as simple as a clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping. Thank you so much.
You got it. Have a nice night. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address.
You might as well just give it to your buddy.
There you go. There you go.
Make sure it's still turned on.
Yeah. And it's
I'm Robert Miller,
it's a watch
live at
spot.
41
That's what
Branch
Steve
Road in
Lemon always
Oakhurst.
wears.
And I'm also going to be talking about some flooding we've experienced on Branch Road. I just found out about the meeting today, so I wrote down some of my personal issues that I've come across. But here's the beginning for us. My wife Cheryl and I have lived on Branch Road since the fall of 1983. Back then, initially, we didn't experience any significant flooding. However, after a number of years, flooding during and after rainfall became substantial, and our property flooded in both the front and backyards, many times causing our crawl space to flood. Consequently, a couple of years ago, we had the crawl space refurbished and added a dehumidifier, both at a significant personal expense to us. Generally, when it rains, the flooding from the street rises very close to our garage and sometimes goes in the garage. Many times I've waited at least a day for the water to subside so that I can leave my home. This has impacted commitments, medical appointments, etc. Also due to flooding, quite often I drive my wife to and from work, as our SUV has more ground clearance than her regular car does. Even with the SUV though, I'm taking a chance of getting stuck in some accumulated water, because it does get fairly high up there. To reiterate, the flooding requires that many times I wait for the accumulated water to subside before entering or exiting my home, and at times I've had to cancel or rearrange important appointments, etc. On our end of Branch Road, the rainwater accumulates in part due to the downward slant of the street. It also appears that a couple of storm drains are clogged or cluttered. I can't verify that, but it just appears that way. Further, the drain pipes appear too narrow for the amount of the water flow required for adequate drainage. The dimensions of the pipes may have been appropriate when the neighborhood was being developed, but now seem to be inadequate. Therefore, I believe the township should add additional storm drains to alleviate the major problem. Thank you very much.
There you go, slide that in.
Again, we're gonna have our engineer take an assessment of that and see if it's an area that we can put in for a project.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
concerns.
Appreciate everybody.
Thank you.
You guys coming down to help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Probably the same.
Hi, it doesn't sound like it's working. Is this
You
on?
sound great.
It is.
I do. I'll use my teacher's voice. Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you, I work at Ocean Township Elementary, the after-school program with Project Extend.
Yeah, my kids used to be in it.
Yeah.
It's
oh,
great. I stopped in this morning to see the ladies. Actually, she's still there.
Miss Debbie.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she's still there. My kids are 20.
I work with her.
Yeah, it was. I have to
Go like
say
this.
Sure.
that
Can hear it.
Better.
that program is fantastic for the parents that work. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Always had real good things to say about it.
Yeah, I've worked with her now, I guess, since, I'll just take a guess, 2011.
Okay.
And I love it. I do the afternoon
Yep.
program with her.
All right.
And enjoy it. I might be saying things that Bobby brought up, and we wrote our little talks individually, so I wasn't there when he was composing his. But I just wanted to say that when we first moved in our home on Branch Road, it was about 40 years ago, it was an idyllic setting. It was like a park-like setting. We had a babbling brook and lots of trees, animal life, and we love animals. It was quiet and peaceful and still is, great neighbors. But for most people, when it rains, it's seen as an inconvenience. But to us, any significant rain is a nightmare. I was even worried that it was going to, they forecasted a lot of rain for tonight, and I thought, we'll never even get to this council meeting. And that often happens, as Bobby said. For about a year now, we've been dealing with a flooding problem that can no longer be ignored. In the past, we've had flooding. This has been ongoing, but it's really worsened within the past year. And when Whale Pond Brook overflows, we have two drains very close to us and close to our home and a driveway. They seem to be blocked, and the street floods for hours. I mean, it takes hours to recede. As Bobby mentioned, he has an SUV, I don't, and we even have to wait, and I had to call out of work once so far recently. And in previous times when I was at Fort Monmouth, I had to call out there too. And it's, here at Project Extend, if I don't work, I don't get paid. And it leaves them in the lurch. And also you can figure doctor's appointments, other plans, we just can't do them. So previously, guys from DPW, they used to come, I used to see them, and they used to do something to the 2 drains near us. And it seemed to help, but I haven't seen them there. That doesn't mean they haven't come, but I haven't seen them there in recent times. They did work down the street at Joe's house. They had this big machine, and they were doing all this stuff, and it seems, I think, to help down that end. I'm not quite sure. And we've contacted DPW a few times, and like they were saying, very nice people. One of the guys, I can't remember his name, even came to the house. He told us how he traced the brook down to where it, ends up near the ocean. Gave us this whole, information. But still, we need, solutions. We need solutions to this. So, again, they're nice, people. And I'll tell you, we've been good citizens all these years. We always pay our taxes, our sewer, anything. We're involved in the town. Bobby and I are very involved in the museum. Our morning march, she passed recently, as you said, and I'm heading up the fundraising portion of the tea. I've been doing that for years. We have our annual tea coming up. Bobby's been helping me. So you can see we're very involved in the community here. So we just really beg you to please help us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
With that, I think I'm going to leave it.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Hey, Dave, maybe even before Greg goes out, Steve could take a look. Maybe it's something up in the back end of that stream. I don't know. Something to think about, and then Greg can take a look.
Yep, I'll be talking to both of them tomorrow, or
Great.
Public Works, because Steve's actually on vacation.
Oh, that's right. He's in Phoenix. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing here none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, meeting adjourned.